Hey everybody, welcome back. If you didn't catch part one, please go back and check it out to see how it all started. Alright, so what I did here is I decided to take the whole rack out, and I made a temporary brace to hold the mount for the rack and pinion on this side in its location, and then I cut off the old mount in the area where I'm going to remove the center of the frame there to open it up, and I tacked in a new mount in its place. So I'm going to get ready. I'm going to weld that in with some gussets, and then I'll get rid of this temporary mount, and I'm probably going to move this guy here to the other side with a new one so I can open up that area, and then I'm going to brace up the frame a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it out. And I'll box it up, put a little center support in there that's removable, and hopefully that will make it so if I ever got to get into the oil pan while it's in the car, that I can just drop the center section out of it and get into the oil pan. Plus, probably having to run a collection device underneath the car, like a belly pan, I'll be able to fit that a lot easier. Well, the new mount is in. Welded all those gussets, top and bottom. Some look better than others as far as the welds go, but you can't win them all. It's hard to weld upside down. You got to play around with the feeds a little bit. I'm not the world's best welder, for sure, but I'm not the worst. Most of them come out pretty decent, but as long as they're strong and safe, I'm not too concerned. Next I'll brace up the frame rails and start cutting out the center section. Alright, you can see that I cut it out, tacked in a little cross brace there, just in case the frame wanted to buckle or move. It was definitely shifting a little bit when I was cutting it, but that's kind of to be expected. I did take some reference measurements just in case. So hopefully put it right back to where it was. It's a little ugly at the moment. It was a little tricky to cut that out. I just weighed the piece I cut out. It was about 12 pounds. Not a huge weight savings, but anything up front is always plus. Weight was part of it. Accessibility of the bottom of the motor was the other part of it. So I'll pretty it up. I'll plate the ends and I'll get a removable piece in there, and it'll look real nice when I'm done. Okay, got the frame all squared up where I cut the center section out. Took a little bit. I didn't bore you guys with that stuff, but things are parallel and everything's all even, and I got some plates cut up ready to go in there. I got to form them up a little bit, and then I'll be able to weld them in. Alright, I jumped ahead a little bit. You didn't really miss much, but I jumped ahead and I got those plates tacked in, and I had them out temporarily because I made the cross piece that goes in there, which is this guy here. So it's going to lay inside there. So I had to drill some holes, figure out where they were on those plates there, and lined everything up, made sure everything was good, tacked it in place again, and now I'm ready to weld it for good. So let me get you guys stand over here and get welded. All right. All right, that went pretty well. The ones on top, the welds, they came out pretty decent. You know, down the sides, they were all pretty good too. Welding underneath just sucks. There's no other way to describe it. Wasn't too bad, but you know what? That's why they make a grinder, right? So I'll get the cross piece all welded together and throw it together and see how she all fits. And then it's time to clean it all up and paint it. All right, so here's the finished product. Just got it in there temporarily for now. You can see what I was doing. It's not rocket science, but you get the idea. Took out a little weight, made it easier to access my oil pan if need be. Also more room for an oil catch pan that a lot of tracks are requiring now. Next time you see it, everything will be all painted up, cleaned up, and should be back to looking nice. All right, I'll catch up with you guys on the finished product. All painted. All right, we are all back together. About ready to drop the motor in. Nose went back where it's supposed to be. Cross member is where it's supposed to be. Rack is. So moving along. Time to drop the motor in.